Hello, hello, and welcome to Oracle Hour. We had a slight technical glitch, so we ended the live stream and now we're back. So we had a bunch of questions posted in the chat, which my moderator Lacey will type in the chat, and so we can all be live again together. Just come back and join this live stream. If you're watching on Facebook or Instagram, you can see me, but I can't see you. So come back and join me on at Sabrina Rising on YouTube. And if you want to have your questions answered, just post them in the chat, and we answer them on a first come first serve basis. For those of you that are new, my name is Sabrina Rising. I am a spiritual mentor and a psychic medium, and I love to channel my spirit team on your behalf. I love to answer questions about whatever it is you might be struggling with. If you have concerns about your health, your wealth, your relationship, whatever it is you might be struggling with in your life, I usually like to start off Oracle Hour with a little talk about what's been sort of coming through for me, messages for the collective, and then we dive right into questions. So again, if you're new here, don't be shy. Post your question in the chat, and we will get to it on a first come first serve basis. You can ask me anything you want as the Oracle. I can answer questions about what's happened in the past, what's happening now, and what is most likely going to happen in the future based on your current trajectory. Okay, my intention is to be of highest and best service to you on your spiritual development journey. Okay, so for tonight, thank you, Lacey, for reposting all of that. I appreciate you. Okay, good. So for tonight, I wanted to come in and really talk about the power of our words. Okay, so you've probably heard the expression that words are spells, and the words we use really build the house that we live in. And it's so true when you think about how much time we spend perhaps in our desires, our imagination, and our daydreams, sort of visualizing the life that we want, but perhaps not spending as much time and as much attention as we could be and should be, really focusing on how we talk to ourselves, how we talk about our lives, how we talk about other people, perhaps, but the language that we use. And so words are extremely powerful. Words have vibration, and they really carry the frequency of how you feel. And I've talked about this before when we talk about manifesting. We don't manifest what we want, we manifest what we are, right? So how we feel in the moment, the energy that we're carrying, and the language that you use is keeping you in this reality, right? It's keeping you in the frequency that you're in, which is creating the circumstances of your life, right? And so really, my intention as a guide and as a channel is to help people really become aware of the thoughts that they're having, the beliefs that they're holding, both consciously and unconsciously, and the power that they have, that all of us have, to be able to lead ourselves into new circumstances, into different circumstances, better circumstances, healthier circumstances, by really monitoring the use of our language. Okay. And I really want you to be, of course, gentle with yourself and give yourself grace as you're perhaps listening to this video or watching the replay, and you're, kind of checking in with yourself to see, how do I really talk to myself about my circumstances? How do I talk to myself about my body, my finances, my relationship, other people, the way the world is? How do I talk to myself about the economy? How do I talk to myself about the price of things? How do I talk to myself about, what's happening in the world, or the powers that be, right? Really noticing, and there's really just two paradigms of consciousness that we can be operating in as human beings. Just to distill it down for you, to keep it very, very simple, we're either speaking in a way that keeps us in fear, or we're speaking in a way that keeps us liberated. Like I want to say in love. And what I mean by love is not romantic love. What I mean by love is universal love, right? The love that we are, the love that is our birthright, that is our essential essence. It's our natural energy. It's our I want to say it's our original nature, right? To be expressions of love. And so what we've learned throughout childhood is to keep ourselves safe, because throughout this human experience, we've accumulated the evidence that there are things to be afraid of, right? There's things to look out for. There's things to be aware of, or to protect ourselves from, or to defend ourselves against. And so when we step out of this fear-based consciousness, and we start to see the world as more benign, more gentle, more loving, more kind, even just by using the power of your words, you're going to see this fundamental shift in your life ever so slightly. And of course, it develops and it opens up more so and more so the more you do this practice, right? So really just taking a moment to reflect on the kind of language that you use in your daily life, right? Like when you're triggered, when you're in a reactive state, are you pausing to check in with yourself and to, work through whatever energy, whatever emotions are coming up for you so that you can bring yourself back to a place of love, back to a place of inner peace, and really clean up your language. Okay. So keeping in mind that the language you're using is communication with universal intelligence, right? So you're essentially asking for whatever it is that you're communicating, okay? And so the universe responds to this frequency. It responds to the vibration of your words, which are a reflection of of your frequency, of the energy that you're holding in your body. So if you're living in fear, you're having fear-based thoughts and you're likely using fear-based language, right? So this is something to really look at. We look at our thoughts, we look at our beliefs, and the easiest access point really is to look at our language and to examine what are some of the languages, what are some of the limitations in my language that are perhaps keeping me stuck in circumstances that are undesirable or creating defeat before defeat even has a chance to happen in your life, okay? So it's really, really powerful stuff to look at and to reflect on when we think about the language that we use, when we think about how we talk about ourselves, how we talk about what's possible for us and what we deeply desire. Maybe there's that thing that you think, you say, I can't afford this, or, I'm too old for that, or I'm not smart enough for this, or this doesn't happen for me, or this always is a struggle. That always word keeps us in this loop of creating and manifesting the same circumstances over and over again, until we recognize that we are the ones that are choosing and creating the reality that we're living in based on our frequency. Okay. And so it's really important that we take a good, honest look at ourselves so that we can bring in more beneficial language. You don't have to do this unreasonable jump from being in sort of negative language or fear-based language to something that feels unreachable to you, but slowly coming into the willingness to see things differently, or the willingness to explore or to experiment or to try new things or to see how it feels to say something different or to speak even more compassionately to yourself, and watch how that changes the relationship with yourself and ultimately the relationship with everything else in your life. Okay. So I really wanted to come in here tonight and sort of passionately share about the power of our words and how important they are, right? And the words you use, especially when you're in communication with another person, are having an effect on their energy as well. The way they perceive you, the way they hear you, the way they understand you, the energy behind the words does so much in terms of communication, in terms of either repelling other people or drawing them in. Okay. So being conscious of the words that we use and the energy behind them is so, so, so important, especially if you're on a personal development journey, a spiritual development journey, and you really want to manifest new circumstances in your life. Okay. And that's why most of you are here, because you have questions about how your life is unfolding and you want to know what's coming down in the future, or perhaps what's happening in the present. With that said, thank you all for being here. Hi, everybody. Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Johanna. Hello. Hi, everybody. Hi, Jules. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, lovely community. Hi, Darius. Thank you for being here. All right, awesome. Okay, we will take, Lacey, go ahead. We'll take the first question. Okay, so this was from the previous live stream. This is from Miss Makaya, who we lost, unfortunately, but hopefully you'll find us back at Sabrina Rising on YouTube. Miss Makaya says, hi, Sabrina. Will I be able to pay off my student loans before I retire? This has been bothering me lately. Thank you. Okay, good. So I love this question. I love how this is, we're talking about language, right? This has been bothering me. Will I be able to pay off my student loans, right? I want you, as I'm answering your questions, I'm always answer these questions in two ways. I'll give you my psychic hit, the yes or no that you're looking for, and then I'll give you the spiritual advice, the spiritual guidance, so that you can feel empowered in creating the future that you want and creating the outcome and the desired result that it is that you deeply want. So, so the first thing I want to say is yes. I mean, if I feel fundamentally yes, I feel like you'll be able to repay your student loans. And I actually, as I tune into your energy, I feel like there is, it's not like a slow repayment. Like it starts off that way, like maybe a monthly thing, but then at some point, it actually might feel like a year or two down the road. It feels like there's a lump sum and that you're able to pay off, and then perhaps another lump sum. So I feel like you pay it off in chunks rather than a consistent monthly payment. That's the image I'm getting as I'm tuning into your energy, which is good news. It feels like there's this. It's almost like a blessing, like a lump sum that comes in that you're able to sort of put towards that to just get this burden off of you. And I feel like, yeah, there's some grace around money and finances coming through for you as well, and that's what this question is really tied to. Oh, hi, Miss McKay. Nice to see you still here. Okay, good. So it feels like there's some, there's the deeper concern is around finances and feeling pressure and feeling, like you're not, like barely having enough at the end of each month, right? Feels like there's a certain pattern of that. And so that's the deeper pattern is getting out of this way of operating, which is barely scraping by or just having just enough, right? Where it's like things feel tight. Okay. And so so this is where I feel like your energy is at. And so the guidance I want to give you is to start in creating this visualization of yourself feeling like financial, ease and flow, visualizing yourself being able to pay all your bills. I am someone who has the money, the means to pay off my debts or to pay off my bills at the end of each month. Start with that slow willingness, like the slow accessible shift in your beliefs that allows you to embody a new frequency that will eventually create, this external language as you talk about money, as you talk about finances, as you talk about having enough. And because there is a lot of financial pressure. There's pressure around the job income, about how much things cost, about being able to budget yourself. That was the word I was looking for earlier. So that's happening overall in your energy field. So a daily practice of really making peace with money and like being willing to look at your bank account every day and just bless the money that's there and feel grateful for it, whatever amount there is, so that you can start to regulate your nervous system and get comfortable around your relationship with money and build a relationship with money. Okay, this is a very powerful healing tool, is to be able to just breathe into it and just trust that it's going to be there and that more is coming and more is coming and more is coming. Okay. And you don't have to know the how of it. The how, this is where we trip ourselves, right? We trip ourselves. We take ourselves out of the manifestation process by wondering how it's going to happen. Okay. So the how is the realm of the universe. I want you to just relax about that. And this goes for you and for anybody listening. I love this message, just sort of setting off the Oracle hour tonight. The how is none of your business. You just need to focus on the feeling that you're embodying, the language, and the beliefs. When you get those three things in alignment with each other, in alignment with what you consciously desire, you're able to create a new frequency, and that frequency will bring in new opportunities. It'll bring in, financial ease from places that you may not even be aware of, right? So in the current consciousness that you're in, you're kind of looking for relief with what you have access to. What we want is what we don't have access to, which is the realm of infinite possibilities, which is available in universal intelligence if you develop this practice of breathing and visualizing and allowing and affirming and being responsible for your language. I feel my finances are tight. Yeah, good. That's what I'm feeling too. Ms. Makia says, I want to pay off my debt sooner than later. I always feel like I don't have it. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm channeling for you. So thank you for confirming that. And this is the work, right? I feel this is the deeper issue. And so it's not just about paying off the student loan. You're thinking about it like, okay, how can I pay off my debt and feel some relief? This is not right thinking. What we want is to, how can I create an experience of feeling abundant, feeling ease, right? Miss McKay says you're on point. Thank you for confirming that. Okay, good. So how do we create the experience of ease? right? The last thing you want to do is focus on the thing that's triggering you, right? Like focus on what you don't have. You want to focus on what you do have. What do you have, right? What you have are, things. You already have things that you're grateful for. You already have things in your sphere that feel good to you, right? That you are that you enjoy, that bring you, ease, right? So start focusing on feeling that sense of ease and appreciating what you have in your current reality, focusing on that. What does it feel like to just relax and take your mind off the money, take your mind off the worry, take your mind off the how, and really just focus on breathing and allowing and just being at peace and just, relaxing into this idea, this visualization. Again, beliefs, language, feelings. These three need to be in alignment with each other. It has to be a daily practice. That's the way you're going to dig yourself out of this current paradigm of consciousness. Okay, you're not trapped in your circumstances, and this is for you and for everybody watching, myself included. We're not trapped in our circumstances. We are limited by our way of operating, our level of consciousness. Okay, in any particular area. Miss Makia says, "Thank you so much. I will work on that." Okay, good, beautiful, beautiful. I'm glad. I hope that was helpful. Come back and let me know how that works. Do it every day. Commit to it as your own spiritual practice, a routine where you can bring yourself online on a daily basis. I say online, like in alignment with spirit, like tuned into universal intelligence. That's what I mean. So try that every day, for an extended period of time. Like, don't just do it once or twice and forget about it. Like, do it consistently. It really takes 3 weeks, honestly, to develop a new pattern of belief, a new pattern of operating. And that goes for every area of life, so try that and come back and let me know. All right, good. Yay. I love that first question. So this is Miley from before. Okay, Miley says, "Hello, Sabrina. Will my son get accepted to medical school in 2025? He applied on June 2024. Oh, this is exciting. Um, hmm. Okay, this is an interesting yes. So when I tune in, I feel like it's a yes, but it's going to be a different branch of medical, I want to say it's a different branch of medicine than he originally anticipated. I feel like there's a course correction for him. So yes to school and also course correction. I think, in fact, and you might want to verify this with your son, there might be some other area of medicine that he is exploring. Miley says, "I'm here and thank you for taking my question." Okay, good. Yeah, you're welcome. I feel like there's a course correction. So again, yes, and verify this with him, because there is there's something he hasn't quite figured out exactly where he's going, but in terms of career, in terms of direction, is what I want to say. So I feel like the medical school thing is a done deal. I feel like your son is bright and he's got really good grades and he's got a really solid application. And, I feel like there is a lot of positive energy around this question. You applied for MD, but asked about DO yesterday. Okay, good. This is what I'm feeling. So there's a course correction. Okay, this is yes to the course correction. So this is, I mean, there isn't much more to say other than he's going to go to school and he's going to shift his gears and it's going to be a much better opportunity for him. So it's much more enjoyable, I feel like there's less competition. There's less, it's just a better environment for him. So really encourage him to follow his intuition, because he already knows, he already has an idea that he wants to go in a different way. Okay. So, congratulations to your son, and come back and let me know how that unfolds for him. Okay. And you continue to support him. That might mean he has to reapply. That's okay. I feel like this second idea is going to work out for him, better. That doesn't mean he won't get the first one, but this is what he really wants, is this second opportunity. And you can help him. Mila says, "Thank you. You're welcome." You can help him. This is important for you, Mom, because you can help him by really visualizing this acceptance, like visualizing him getting what he wants, getting his needs met, trusting and surrendering that he's having the experience he's supposed to have, that he's on the right track, that there, you don't have to be in the energy of worry for him. Don't hold your breath for him. Okay. You're not helping him when you do that. You're affecting the outcome. Okay. So don't be stressed about it. Relax and just trust that he's having the experience he's supposed to have. He's got a really bright future. Like I said, he's a very bright person, and things are going to work out for him. So I just want you to relax. I'm visualizing a celebration party this summer. Okay, good. Beautiful. Good work. That's awesome. That's exactly what he needs. He needs your effervescent cheerleader energy, supportive energy that I feel that you have for him. And that's going to help him as well, because he can be a little introverted, and because he's super intellectual, he's got a lot of self-doubt, which is typical for people that are, very intellectual. I'm doing all that learning from you. Oh, okay, good. Beautiful. I love it. I love it, Miley. Thank you. So come back and let me know how this unfolds for him. This is, you're really helping him and encouraging him, which is great. Okay, good. Thank you for being here, Miley. Wonderful. Okay, Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Jennifer says, hello, Sabrina. We'll have interview at prison on Friday for counselor. Yay! Amazing. I remember this. I think you had this interview lined up or so. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. I love this for you. We'll have, okay. So, and then house still hasn't sold. Anything from guides on what is needed or what I'm not doing correctly? Thank you. Okay, good. There's that question again. What am I doing wrong? Right? What am I doing wrong? I want you to take your mind off it. I want you to take your mind off it. At this point, you've done everything. You've packed the things. You're ready to go. You've set the intention. You've cleaned up the interaction with the person you co-own this house with. You've done all the things, except you haven't stopped focusing on it. Right. And so I want you to now just live your life and relax and trust that it's already done. What I said at the beginning of the call, and it's always like this, like the first question usually sets the tone for the entire broadcast. The how is the realm of the universe. We get trapped in how, what can I do to accelerate this? What can I do to move this along? What can I do? What is it about me that's blocking it? Okay. And so I don't feel you're there anymore. When we talked perhaps several weeks ago, I felt like there were some things you needed to complete, but your energy seems very clear, other than being stressed about how long it's taking. So now I want you to just take your mind off it and really trust that this is done, like it's done, and it feels close to done. Timelines are always tricky, but it feels very close to being over. Just now taking your mind off it and really just focusing on where you're going to go next. Continue to focus on where you're going to go next. Go look at places, go visit places, go check out new places where you're going to live. There's one more thing I want to say too, is there's something about, this is more of a logistical psychic opinion. There's something about, I don't know if you're doing open houses or something like that. There's something about the way it's being shown too. So, I would maybe check in with your realtor, whoever it is that's selling this house for you. But there's something about the energy of the open house that could be a bit more inviting, a bit more welcoming. Okay, I think you know what I'm talking about. If you're still here, Jennifer, if you are, please confirm. There's something about that energy that could be a bit more open, a bit more welcoming. Maybe you're not doing open houses and you should, but I want you to open the doors. Okay, so this is the visual I'm seeing, is open the doors, which to me in real estate language means have an open house or have another one where people can just come through. Okay, so that would be my psychic advice. But in the meantime, energetically relax and take your mind off the sail. Take it off the sail and just trust the how is the realm of the universe. It's none of your business. It's already sold. I just keep getting thrown curveballs. However, I know that things are working on. Okay, good. So it's not a curveball. It's not, again, when we talked about the power of language, I just keep getting thrown curveballs, right? So let's correct that right now so we can stop manifesting that right now together, right? So I am, embracing all of the lessons that are coming through on this process of selling my property, right? So much more empowering So much more empowering. I am embracing each lesson that comes through as I successfully sell my property, right? You know that things are working out well. I like that second part, but that I just keep getting getting thrown curveballs tells me that you're going to keep getting thrown curveballs. We don't want to create that, right? So we want to create, I am, receiving exactly what I need. Things are working out well. I trust this process, and I'm on my way to my new place to live, or I'm on my way to my new property, very soon, right? The things that really sort of light you up and have you feeling good. All right. So I want you to practice that and really stay in that positive language, the way that you're talking about the property, the way you're talking about the circumstances. Really be vigilant around your energy, okay, in this process over the next few weeks, and come back and let me know. Thank you. That's helpful. I appreciate all that. Okay, good. Beautiful. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate you being here. Okay. Hi. Is it Jana or Yana? Finally, I catch you live. I'm going to say it's Yana. I think it's Yana. Welcome to the live. Welcome to Oracle Hour. Welcome to our community. We appreciate you being here. If you have a question, I'd be happy to channel for you on your behalf. Otherwise, we'll move on. Johanna, hello. Okay, I'm going to take a sip of water and then I'll read your question. Johanna says, I wanted to ask you about my relationship I have. If you could please tell me how you see him and I now in the next few weeks, months, and also what advice you think I can benefit from. Thank you. Let's see. Okay. I want to ask you about my... So I feel like you're not, your energy feels a little anxious, right? So, I think you want to jump ahead to really get your need for reassurance and security met in this relationship. And instead of just kind of enjoying the getting to know you process, it feels like a new relationship still. And so there's like this sense of, wanting to be reassured that you've made the right decision. First of all, I like his energy. I feel like this is, you haven't known each other very long, but I like his energy. I feel like he's got good intentions. I feel like he wants what you want. I feel like there's been some conversations about that where he maybe wasn't fully clear in the beginning, but I feel like he's coming more around to, what you want, which is good. So, my advice for you in this relationship is to enjoy yourself. Like, just enjoy the process of getting to know each other, and continue to communicate very clearly about what it is you're looking for, about what it is you want, what it is that you envision for your life. I feel like the more you focus on, just sharing authentically and transparently and being clear in your communication with him, the more that's attractive to him. Okay. So, it's very appealing. It's very magnetic. There's something about your energy that he's really attracted to, something about your light. Like he's kind of like, really fascinated with you, which is a beautiful thing. Okay. So I think what you can benefit from is being less concerned about what he's thinking, doing, feeling, what he wants, where this is going, where this is going to end up, that kind of thing. And just more in the now of it, in the now experience of, enjoying him and enjoying how you feel in the relationship, right? Enjoy feeling feminine, enjoy feeling playful, enjoy the flirting aspect of it. And just really focusing on that, keeping the energy light for now is the advice that, I want to give you. Just my spirit team wants me to tell you just to like relax and not be anxious, and to really focus on, always checking in with yourself to make sure you're getting your needs met. And this is, this is feeling good, trust your body. Okay. I really want to encourage you to do some deep diaphragmatic breathing. Okay. Like engage in a daily practice, 5 to 10 minutes a day of deep diaphragmatic breathing, so you can relax and regulate your nervous system and really kind of take a step back, because your energy is very like forward. It's almost like you hook onto things. You tend to fixate on things, not just the relationship you're in, but even other things that you do in your life. So instead of, fixating the need to control and understand and force outcomes, relax and just trust that everything's unfolding for you. Really focus on how you want to feel in these experiences, and that's going to make a big difference. Okay, and you'll be able to see more clearly as you zoom out. Right, this is my message for you. Okay, Johanna, I hope that's helpful. You come back and let me know how that unfolds for you. Okay. Okay, who's next? Hi, Rhonda. Nice to see you here tonight. Rhonda says, I was thinking about how I speak today and how important it is to speak in the affirmative and with love. Good, beautiful. We are in sync. We are tuned into each other. I love that. It's so important, even just walking by a mirror and you see yourself and you tell yourself, you are beautiful, I am beautiful. And just really making sure that you put a lot of energy behind those words so that you're staying in that frequency. Okay. This is very powerful personal practice. It's good to see you. Johanna says, thank you. That's what I was thinking this morning too. I jump ahead about the future. Okay, good. Yeah. And forget about the present. I really appreciate your help and advice. You're so welcome. It's my pleasure to serve you. Relax and zoom out. Okay. Just stay in the present moment. And that mindfulness practice, which is the daily diaphragmatic breathing, will help you stay in the present moment. Okay. Enjoy yourself. I don't feel like there's any warning signs or red flags around this guy. Otherwise I would tell you, he's got a really gentle energy. So just don't put too much pressure or have too many expectations for now. Just have fun. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. Hi, Sunshine and Beauty. Welcome to Oracle Hour. Sunshine says, when will I meet my husband, and any information on who he is and what he is like? Okay. Okay. So two ways I answer these questions. I say that every time. I'll give you my psychic hit, and then I'll give you my spiritual advice on how to create the reality that you deeply desire. Okay. So timelines are, they're almost impossible. I mean, I would say that usually when I'm reading a person's energy, and this goes for any, reader channel, is usually between 3 to 6 months. Okay. That's typically the time frame when you're deeply desiring something. Sometimes we see things later down the road, if it comes in as a message. But the when is in your hands. It's really up to you. Okay. That you have power and authority over when this happens. You have the power to accelerate these processes. Everybody does. We all do. Okay. In terms of when we would like things to happen, because you're looking at it from the perspective of when will something outside of me happen when I want it to, versus what do I need to do to become the person that allows this to step into my life today, right? Or step into my life, sooner rather than later. Okay. So I want you to really focus on, your desire to be in, loving partnership. You're saying, when will I meet my husband? So I'm assuming you want a marriage, right? And any information on who he is and what he's like. So the information on who he is and what he's like, I can give you psychically. First of all, I don't know why I say I feel like this is an Eastern European energy. Like, this is very specific, very Eastern European vibe that comes through. Feels like he, lives where you live, but is not from there. So he's either immigrant or foreign, culture. And it's maybe it's a culture you share, but there is a cultural connection between the two of you. I can't exactly make out what it is because he's not in your life yet. But there's a cultural connection. And I feel like it's either through a community gathering or perhaps even maybe extended family, or like friends of family, friends that feel like family, an extended sort of community gathering. That way was sort of where you sort of meet each other for the first time. Okay. But the real question that I want to go back to is when will I meet my husband? Okay. So again, it's up to you to do the work. The real question is, what do I need to shift internally to make myself ready and available for this relationship that I would like to have become a marriage, right? For my life partner. And so really feeling into that. Okay. So opening yourself up to the possibility of this type of love. When I tune into your energy, there's a little bit of fear and disappointment. perhaps from past experiences, still lingering in your field, some healing work to do there around opening up your heart and believing that there is someone for you out there. I see my partner, I feel my partner, I'm ready to receive my partner, I trust love, it's safe to love. This is the kind of language I want to give you in your daily practice so that you can really start to bring this online for yourself. Okay. So this is my advice for you, Sunshine and Beauty, is to really feel into that. Like, how can I open my heart and help myself be ready to receive this life partnership? This is what I want you to focus on. The psychic hits around how and where are very, very clear. And these things can still happen. And if you're not ready, if you haven't brought yourself fully, embodied in this experience of deeply desiring and being open and allowing love into your life, it's not going to matter, right? And so you won't have this opportunity. You'll have perhaps another opportunity down the road, but you won't have this opportunity. So it's really important for you to do the inner work to open up your heart and to create the belief that this person is in your life, that there is someone out there for you, because there's some negative language and negative thinking around the possibility of this that I want you to really focus on. Okay. And that's going to make a huge difference. It's going to help set the stage for this encounter in your life. Okay. That's what my spirit team wants me to channel for you. Okay. Thank you, Sunshine and Beauty. I hope that was helpful. Let me know how that unfolds. Hi, Jules. Jules says, hi, Sabrina. I've had issues sleeping through the night for quite a while. I fall asleep, but wake up multiple times at night. I am chronically tired. Any insights, please? Thank you. Jules, I feel you more than you know. I mean, I have been going through this myself lately. There's a lot of energy in the collective. There's a lot of things happening internally for so many of us. I have been struggling with sleep myself. I'm very sensitive to energy as a channel, most definitely. And you might be too. The waking up around 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, anywhere between that time and 4 a.m. That's kind of like the witching hour, as we call it. Usually that's when the veil is the thinnest and there is an opportunity to really receive guidance, divine guidance, to connect with your higher self, to connect with your loved ones, to connect with your spirit team, and really allow whatever information it wants to communicate through you during that time. Okay. 3 to 4 a.m. Okay, good. So, me too. So it's happening to me. It's happened to me almost every night this week. So this is why, I can relate to what you're sharing. That's the window. Okay. So use this time. So instead of, trying to go back to sleep or resisting it or forcing or, suffering through it, I want you to use that time to let yourself be awake and to do some deep diaphragmatic breathing, to close your eyes and to speak to spirit and allow spirit to communicate to you and to ask it, what does it want? What does it want to share with you? What is the message I'm here to receive? What is it that I'm supposed to learn? Why are you waking me up, right? Why are you waking me up? I'm ready to receive whatever the message is, so that I can feel into it and apply it into my life. Okay. So I want you to use this guidance over the next few nights and see what's going on, because you're being activated. There's something that wants to come through. There's perhaps an up level or something that wants to can express itself through you. And there's something you're calling in as well. We're always co-creating it. All right. And when we're co-creating, when we're calling in bigger things, bigger expansion, it can be anything: more self-expression, more abundance, better health, whatever it is that you're calling in. You're asking the universe to expand your capacity, and oftentimes that requires personal practice. And the witching hour between 3 to 4 a.m., like I said, the veil is very, very thin, so you're really able to receive this divine guidance that wants to communicate, that wants to come through you, and so use this time very wisely. Okay, I want you to embrace being awake during that time and see what's in store for you. Maybe take out your journal and some paper and some pen, and just write down some notes or whatever you feel intuitively is coming through you, and jot that down, so that you can eventually fall back asleep, because you will fall back asleep, and then when you wake up, you'll have your messages readily available to integrate. Okay. So try that, Jules, and let me know how that unfolds for you. Good. Okay. Who else? Hi, Rhonda. Okay. Rhonda says, please ask my spirit team where I should focus my attention. Okay. Let me see what I have for you. I don't know if you're taking someone to the doctor or something like that, or you're being asked to escort someone or to accompany someone. I feel like there's an invitation to do that. Um, there's something about being in a supportive role, whether our caregiver supportive role feels like a supportive energy is being asked of you. And it can be a sister or a family member or a female friend. I want, so this is, I'm going to answer your question more directly, but this is what's coming through when I close my eyes and just tune into your energy. I feel like you're being asked to be this supportive role for someone who really needs to lean into your strength right now. And so I want you to focus your attention on expanding your capacity. Okay. And we've been talking about this all night. So, and for you, it's really about expanding your capacity to demonstrate love, to show up in a loving way, to be supportive. There's a tendency, I want to say there's been a tendency to sort of feel like, and this is very subtle, Rhonda. So, and I say this with love and respect, but like maybe like being concerned that you don't want to give too much of your energy away, or like, being concerned that people want something from you, or being concerned that, it's things are an inconvenience, right? So, Spirit is asking you now to step into a more charitable, compassionate, unconditionally loving capacity to be supportive in your community and in your family. And this is going to bring a lot of blessings in your life. Okay. So really focusing on, share, again, being charitable and compassionate and expanding your capacity. Perhaps you're developing more patience, you're developing more, more bedside manner, like you're offering support more freely. Nothing's being taken from you. When we give, we're not taking away from ourselves. We're giving and receiving is one and the same. And this is the message I have for you very clearly. Giving and receiving feel like one and the same. So allowing the giving to nourish you, allowing the giving to expand your capacity and to sort of fill up your cup, because it's going to bless you in so many ways. Okay. This is my message for you tonight, Rhonda. Good. I hope that's helpful. Jules says, very cool. Thank you very much. Hey, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. Sunshine Beauty says, yes, so many hurtful experiences with men. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That made sense. No matter what I do, similar patterns occur. I plan on improving my attachment style. I think that has a lot to do with it. Yeah. I mean, look, attachment style gets activated based on your beliefs and your past trauma, right? So I would focus on your trauma. I would focus on healing from your hurtful experiences with men. That's the work. The inner work is what I channeled for you. That's the work, is bringing yourself online and healing your heart. It's not about, when will I meet my husband, right? Like from this place of feeling disappointed and hurt and discouraged and defeated from your past. We have to come out of the wounding here and be in a sort of a belief system that says, hey, I'm lovable. I am lovable. Not that there is someone out there for me, but that I am lovable and I'm worthy of love. And the patterns, this, I want you to, there's a video on my YouTube channel, How to Heal the Father Wound. And I would want you to watch it. Okay. Because I really want you to look at the relationship with father and how that relationship has affected your dynamics with the masculine, and, how if you feel seen, heard, valued, special, all those things that have sort of created this conscious and unconscious, mostly unconscious belief that good men are hard to find, or that there is that you keep getting hurt in relationships. Okay, so it's not like the right one is just going to come along. We have to co-create our circumstances by bringing our beliefs and our healing energy to the creative process. Okay. So I want you to really look at that. Thank you, Lacey, for posting the link to the video. I appreciate that. There's a link right there, Sunshine and Beauty for you. Okay. To the video. So I really want you to focus on that. Focus on healing your heart. Now is not the time, again, to look for the husband. Now is the time to do the inner work, to really heal your heart and forgive those who have wronged you, to see how you might have attracted those type of relationships, to take responsibility for your own vibration, your own limiting beliefs, your own pain, and to do the work to heal that so that you can set the stage for the right person to come into your life. Okay. And I send you all my love and all my compassion and empathy for the experiences that you've had. And you can heal. Anyone can heal from anything at any time. It just takes willingness, and the willingness to do a little bit of inner work, and the commitment and the discipline to practice daily. Okay. All right. Hi, Rhonda. Rhonda says there is a person who left the food bank who needs my support, and I suspect she could be draining. I will expand my capacity. You suggested I staying open. Yeah, good. Beautiful. This is this is what I'm feeling for you. She's gonna come knocking. And yeah, so that's the thing. I suspect she could be draining, that's kind of what I was picking up. It's like, oh, I don't know if I want to give my energy to this person. I actually think expanding your capacity is going to bless your life beyond, what you can imagine. And that's true for you, and it's true for all of us. Sometimes we, again, use your discernment. We don't and respect your own personal boundaries. If it feels like, it's starting to feel like you're being taken advantage of, or it's starting to feel like it's too much, or you're starting to feel like it's very taxing for you, then you're always free to draw that boundary. And I would certainly advocate for that. But, one gesture, or perhaps some kindness or some compassion, you have the capacity to expand there. Okay. So there is the capacity to expand a little bit. Again, use your discernment to gauge when you need to draw a healthy boundary. Okay, Rhonda? Yeah. Beautiful. Mystical G. Hi, Mystical G. Hi, Sabrina. I would like a message from my guardian angel. Ooh, okay. Let's see. I would love to give you a message. Let's see who your guardian angel is. Are you familiar with Angel Gabriel, Archangel Gabriel? This is the name that's coming through. So if this resonates for you in your personal practice, this is something that's specifically for you. This energy is about, I want to say that it's about going deeper into the details, like looking through the details and looking into things. There's things that you need to review. Yes, I am. Okay, good. So this is what I want you to really look into is there's something about higher education. There's a visual I have around you. Either like you're reading books or you're studying something. The word is studying. So there's higher education and studying. You're being called into a higher level of service. And this Archangel Gabriel is here to sort of help steward this process for you. Okay. And to sort of usher you through any self-doubt you have about your capacity, about your capabilities, about your talents and your skills, and to sort of guide you into this higher way of operating. And I feel like this is something that you've been calling in. Okay. So you can confirm that if you're able to. There's this Archangel Gabriel is very clear. In fact, I feel like I see a painting of an archangel. I don't think it's in your house, but I think there's something that you either have seen before or that you're familiar with. But I actually see it's almost like a watercolor painting that I'm seeing as I'm channeling this for you. Would be good for you to have a picture of Archangel Gabriel in your home so that you can use it in your spiritual practice and meditate on it and start to call in messages. You can do that by closing your eyes and taking some deep breaths and creating some inner stillness and asking Archangel Gabriel to come forward and to bring forward whatever message he might have for you at that time. Okay. I painted Archangel Michael. Oh, okay, good. Beautiful. So I see this painting. So I can't tell which archangel it is, but it looks like an angel. Beautiful. So I love, so there, the painting that you have is beautiful. And I would like you to have a picture of Archangel Gabriel as well, because he's coming in with kind of like a different message. He's coming in with this message of sort of higher position, higher knowledge. It's like it feels like you're moving into a higher level of service. It can even be a higher creative expression. Okay, so this is the message I have for you tonight: is like, really mastering your craft. And it can't, again, it could be around studying or developing yourself or creating more mastery in the work that you're doing, as you step into this higher level of service. Okay. And that's my message for you tonight. Okay. So look into Archangel Gabriel and meditate on him, and focus on, inviting in messages, and come back and let me know how that unfolds for you. Okay. I'd be curious to find out. Beautiful. Thank you for being here. It is Jana with a J. Okay, cool. Nice to meet you, Jana. Do you have a question for the oracle? Okay, if you have a question, let me know, and Lacey will post it. Hi, Jolie. Jolie says, hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us tonight. Okay, who is next? Mystical G says, thank you. You're welcome. Hi, Mystic Bond. Me and my partner are trying to come out of a storm. Okay. He ignored me for many days because of an argument, and I was extremely hurt. He is coming back. What can I do to help him go back to where we were? Okay, I'm going to give you my psychic hit, and I'm going to give you my spiritual guidance. All right, as I always do. So, and I say this with love and respect, Mystic Bond. And a lot of gentleness and empathy. I can feel how deeply attached you are to this person. I can feel the bond between the two of you feels like it's like a love hurts bond. Like there's this really kind of. You're welcome. Yeah, it's not meant to be this painful. It's not meant to be this hard. I have a concern that this is going to be an ongoing pattern. Like it's going to, keep exploding. There's this big storm. Both of you have a lot of unhealed childhood wounds. And, him in particular, I mean, you both do, because you're attracted to each other. So we can only attract what we are, right? We only attract what we are. It's never that person or me, or it's his fault or it's my fault. It's always a co-creation. So, there's a lot of pain and attachment in this bond that feels unhealthy. Okay. And I want to keep you safe, and I want you to have healthy, loving partnerships in your life. I think it's important. What is she saying? Is there more information? Mystic Bond says he was sexually abused. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I feel that. So he's got to do a lot of healing work before you can have a healthy intimacy, healthy connection, healthy relationship. It's very important, and you can't do anything to bring him back. Like, again, listen to the language you're using. Like, what can I do to bring him back and keep him here and help the relationship be better? It's not, you're not 100% responsible. You're both responsible for co-creating the relationship that you're in. He needs to do the work around healing his masculine energy and healing his relationship to men and the masculine. And, I feel like he sort of oscillates, and he can be very dominant at times, to sort of, claim his power, because he, on an unconscious level, he feels very powerless. Okay. In his body. And so, I feel like this is going to go, it's going to keep storming up. It's going to keep storming up. And you trigger him, right? Of course you do, because you're in a relationship, and there is a lot of pain and wounding for both of you, right? So I want you to really look at your own deep desire to, this is our first storm. Okay. Yeah. And my suspicion is that it's going to keep going like this. Okay. So until you really do the work, both of you do the work to heal your childhood wounds. Okay. If you're not doing inner child work, your partner becomes your parent. Your partner becomes your your perpetrator, your partner becomes your abuser, your partner becomes all the things that you want to project out, all the unmet needs that you didn't have in childhood, your partner becomes responsible for them, okay? And this is true for you and true for everybody in partnership, okay? This is a very difficult thing you're going through, Mystic Bond. And I want to give you so much compassion and empathy. You cannot save this person. All you can do is love him. All you can do is support him and encourage him to get the help that he needs so that you can create a loving, healthy, we have no idea how to do that. Okay. So I want to say to you, I mean, I want you to look up some resources around inner child work. Lacey's going to post the link here at the end of this broadcast when we wrap up here in a few minutes on the one-to-one, how to work with me, one-to-one. You can come and have a conversation with me about how to do inner child work. So I can guide you in the right direction. The inner child work needs to happen in order for the two of you to have nonviolent communication, to have loving, harmonious connection in your relationship, and for you to not take on the bond, how to work on childhood traumas. Yeah. So I'm happy to guide you on that. Lacey, if you can post the one-to-one link for Mystic Bond, there it is. Okay. So just come and book a session with me and I'll take you through the process of how to do inner child work so that you can really understand what the draw is. Okay. So he needs saving. You want to save him. You know, there's a lot of, you're dealing with abandonment, Mystic Bond, you know, and he's dealing with you know, feeling threatened. He's in fear, right? Around intimacy and connection, right? So he's going to keep pushing away and you're going to keep trying to, you know, you're going to keep trying to latch on, right? So this is like a push-pull dynamic that I feel is going on here. So there's the link. Come and book with me and we can chat about it in a private environment where we can go deeper and we can talk a little bit more about your childhood and his. Okay. But you know, I love that he's coming back, you know, I mean, I love that in the sense where there is love and connection between the two of you. And it's very important to take this opportunity to set a healthy foundation for your dynamic. Healing is possible. As I mentioned earlier, anyone can heal at any time from anything. It takes awareness and willingness and the tools to practice daily. Okay. Okay, good. Beautiful. Wow, it's 6 o'clock. I don't know where the time goes. What's Rhonda saying here? Rhonda's saying, thank you. This was very enlightening. I appreciate you. You're welcome. Yeah, come and talk to me and I'll set you on the right path. Okay. Rhonda says inner child work is crucial for healing those old wounds and changing the belief system. Absolutely. And thank you for validating. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Time has flown. If you didn't get your question answered, feel free to join us every week. I'm here every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, channeling on Oracle Hour and answering your questions and offering spiritual guidance. If you want to do a deep dive with me, a one-to-one deep dive with me, if you want a psychic reading, intuitive life guidance, or mediumship connection, there is a link that Lacey's going to post to book a reading. Oh, this is for one-to-one. So that's to book a one-to-one consultation for my one-to-one coaching programs for my longer-term containers. There's also a link to book readings as well, which Lacey will post here in a minute. If you are someone who is, thank you, Lacey, there's the readings link. If you're someone who's desiring a mediumship connection, okay, sometimes those come through during Oracle Hour, but I do a dedicated class called Spirit Speaks. And there's one this coming Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific. It's a 2-hour workshop. Everybody is guaranteed a mediumship connection. So we cap these classes. It's a very small, intimate group. There's a couple spots left. If you want to go ahead and book the link and join us this Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific, I'd be happy to connect you to your loved ones, to whoever's in spirit. That wants to communicate with you. If there's someone you'd love to connect with or receive a message from or feel incomplete with, I would be honored to be the bridge between you and your loved one. There is the link to join us right there. And if you liked this broadcast, feel free to like and subscribe. Come back every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific. This Sunday, I am not doing soul sessions at 5 p.m. Normally, I do soul sessions every Sunday as well for deeper talks. I do some live coaching. I teach on a spiritual topic, and then I take live questions on soul sessions as well. That's my Sunday night broadcast. I'm taking Sunday off because it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all my moms out there. So enjoy being with your babies. I know I will enjoy being with mine. And I send you all my love, and I will see you all next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific.